History of the bicycle. In the year 1818, the dandy horse, or the running machine, was invented by Carl von Drais. This contraption was propelled by the rider pushing himself along with his feet on the ground. In the year 1860, the first true bicycle was invented by Ernest Michaux and Pierre Lallemand, known as the velocipede. In the year 1870, the penny farthing bicycle was invented. The name came from the idea that the wheels resembled two coins, the penny and the farthing. Next to each other, they formed significantly larger than the letter. It was unstable and extremely difficult to get on and off, and the front wheel was used for power and steering. In 1885, the safety bicycle was invented by John Kemp and characterized by two wheels with the same size and a rear wheel connected and driven by a chain. This made a more efficient bicycle that could use smaller wheels. In 1930, Schwinn added some springs and forks and a fat tire to handle abuse of teenage boys. This later became the preliminary design for mountain bikes. There are many types of bikes. First, let's start off with the mountain bike. Mountain bikes have wide knobby tires which allow them to be ridden in loose dirt and over obstacles. These bikes have flat handlebars and rugged frames that allows the mountain bike to withstand the impact of rugged terrain. Hybrids and sport comfort bikes share the same comfort features but are distinguished by the wheel size. The hybrids have a slightly larger wheel than the road bike. The road bike now. Road bikes can be identified by their skinny tires and downturned or dropped handlebars. These bikes rule the road due to their extreme efficiency and speed. The larger thin tires help it glide along the road with little effort, while a multi-position handlebar offers grip variations from upright to more aggressive. A road bike is a supreme choice for one intent to ride on the pavement, especially for longer rides. Triathlon and time trial bikes. These bicycles are built specifically for these events and are basically specialized road bikes. These machines have forward bullhorn shaped handlebars and aero bars. They allow the rider to lean forward in an aerodynamic position. The shifters on these bikes are located at the end of the aero bars. The geometry of this bicycle frame is designed to suit triathlon and time trial racing, both heavily focused on aerodynamics. Now it's BMX or trick bike. BMX stands for bicycle motocross because these are single speed bikes raced around a short dirt track similar to the motorsport. Frequently, the term BMX is used to describe any single speed bike with a 20-inch wheel. These bikes are very robust and durable and would be the best selection for anyone intending to do tricks. Cyclocross bike. Cyclocross bike has road bike-like style, drop handlebars but with wider knobby tires. These bikes are designed to be raced around a dirt trail while their obstacles have been placed at various intervals. These obstacles require the rider to dismount and carry the bicycle for a short period of time. Cyclocross events are a lot of fun and the bikes are so versatile, they are great do-anything bikes. Track bikes. A track bike is like a road bike but with a single gear. That does not freewheel or coast. This means a cyclist cannot, in fact, steer the bike. In fact, true track bikes do not even have brakes, so the athletes must use their leg strength to stop the cranks from turning, which stops the motion of the bike. Track racing is done indoor track with banked turns called a velodrome. Fixed gear bikes are the outdoor version of track bikes. They have a single fixed gear but may have brakes and different styles of handlebars. These bikes are often used for racers in training because they force the athlete to spin their legs in a consistent circle and run higher cadence. They are also used in cities or as foul weather bikes because they are so few moving parts on a fixed gear. They're inexpensive and little can go wrong. Now there's the tandem bike. A tandem bike is a bicycle built for two. They come in many styles and are a greater leveler of cycling world. Two riders of two different abilities can enjoy a ride at the same pace. In riding a tandem, they work well with the younger kids, new cyclists, or the blind. Tandem bikes do not require any skill to ride. It can be great fun. Now let's go on with technological revolution. In the early stages of inventions, bicycles, there was no safety precautions like steering and brakes. Then appeared the safety bicycle and replaced the dangerous penny farthing bicycle. It had a low center of gravity and later added brakes and steering and a pedal. Most technological advancements came in the modern day times. With all the different kinds of bikes and competitions where competitors needed the best bikes, frames were being made out of carbon fiber to reduce weight. Different kinds of tires were made for different kinds of bikes. Bikes were given gears to have the most efficient rides possible for riders. Springs were added to mountain bikes to reduce wear and tear, etc. Manufacturing process and components. The seamless frame tubes are constructed from solid blocks of steel. They are pierced and drawn into tubes through several stages. These are usually superior to seam tubes, which are made by drawing a flat steel strip stock, wrapping it into a tube and welding it together along the length of the tube. Seamless tubes may then be further manipulated to increase their strength and decrease their weight by butting or altering the thickness of the tube walls. Butting involves increasing the thickness of the walls at the joints or ends of the tube where the most stress is delivered, and thinning of the walls at the center of the tube where there's relatively little stress. Butted tubing also improves resilience of the frame. Butted tubes may be single butted with one end thicker, double butted with both ends thicker, the center, or triple butted where the thickness at either end, or quad butted similar to the triple but the center thinning towards the middle. Constant thickness, however, are also appropriate for certain bikes. The tubes are assembled into the frame by hand brazing or welding by machines, the former being a more labor-intensive process and therefore more expensive. Composites may be joined with a strong glue, plastic binders, and the components are generally manufactured by machine and may be attached to the frame by hand or machine. Final adjustments are made by skilled bicycle builders. Now we're going to talk about the derailleurs and gear shift levers. Depending on the style of bicycle, the gear shift levers are mounted either on the down tube, popular on racing bikes, or on the stem, or on the handlebars. The cables attached which extends to the front and rear tire derailleurs, front derailleurs which move the chain from one drive sprocket to another, may be clamped and brazen to the seat. Rear derailleurs may be mounted with bolt-on hangers and integral hangers. Now, handlebars, stems, and headsets. Handlebar may be raised, flat, or dropped. They're bolted to the bicycle stem, which is then fitted into the head tube. The headset component, including bearings, cups, or lug nuts, are attached to the head tube. The headset allows the fork to turn inside, and the head tube thus makes the steering easier. 12. Brakes. The brake levers are mounted onto the handlebars. Cables extended to the brakes are fastened to the calipers. Tape made of plastic or cloth can then be attached to the handlebars, and the ends are plugged. Saddle and seat posts. Seat posts are generally steel or aluminum alloy and are bolted and clamped into position. The saddle is generally made out of molded padding and covered with nylon plastic materials, although leather was the norm for the saddles for a long time. Cranksets. The cranksets support the pedals, and transfers power from the pedals to the chain to the rear wheel to make it go. They're attached with bolt and caps into the bottom of the bracket of the bicycle frame. Wheels and tires and hubs. Wheel manufacturers conform to the AJ International Standard of the ISO. Systems for the wheel diameter and tire size. Wheels may be constructed by Musteel